Alright, welcome to Drawing Lewis dot symbols. It's supposed to help you out with the first part of your homework. So there are two rules for drawing Lewis dot symbols, okay? And this is going to involve always going back to our main tool, the periodic table. On the periodic table, you want to first find the group number for whatever element I've asked you to draw a dot symbol for. And number two, draw that many dots. It's really as simple as that, okay? Now, on the periodic table, you notice a lot of it is missing from this, and that's because these are what we call main group elements, okay? This line in here you can kind of think of as representing all the transition metals that I've skipped. Okay, and that's because they do weird kind of bonding stuff. We'll talk about that towards the end of the year. We want to keep it simple to begin with, though. Okay, so Lewis dot symbols you can draw for any of these elements in the main group 1 through 8. And if your periodic table has the American symbol group numbering on it, then it'll be you'll see these listed as 1A, 2A, 3A, blah, blah, blah. On the newer ones, a lot of them, they just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they get up to 18, I think. Okay, so we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And those are groups. Okay, columns on the periodic table are called groups. So let's say I ask you to draw a Lewis dot symbol for fluorine. Great element to draw a Lewis dot symbol for because Lewis dot symbols are used in bonding. Fluorine does a lot of bonding. So you look at the group number, woo, 7. You draw that many dots. Okay, and there's a specific way you need to draw these dots because it's going to influence how we draw fluorine's bonding later. So you're going to always start at the top. 1, go to the side, 2, the bottom, 3, the left, 4, back to the top, 5, right, 6, bottom, 7. Okay. Now, if you want to think about this fluorine, if fluorine was in a box, we're putting those dots one on the top, the right, bottom, left, top, right, bottom. If we had an eighth element, it was in the eighth group, then we would draw it back on the left. So that's really, you want to put, you can put your elements up to 4 around before you go back and start pairing them. Okay, let's try one more. How about argon? We start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember to make sure that you're clearly showing me how they're pairing up. Their pairing is important. It is vital when we get to drawing the bonding of these elements. Okay. The only weird one that I want to point out is helium. And remember our shells on our atoms, our ring models that we drew last week? The first shell only had 2 electrons. And it turns out that's because helium and hydrogen are perfectly happy just getting 2 electrons on their shells. So helium will have just 2 dots there. Hydrogen has just 1. But hydrogen doesn't want 8. And we'll talk about what that means later. But for now, that's what you got. Okay. Let's see. One more. How about beryllium? Okay. Second group. Boom. Boom. That's for you guys that watched all the way to the end of the video. Boom, you got 4 or 5 examples. All right, go ahead and try that, and I'll post the second video here in a second.